It's June 2nd, 2019. Here's what's going on the backyard fruit trees. Here is the air layer lychee, planted 2015. This is the second year it got flowers. The first year all the fruit fell, probably because the roots wasn't established. We're gonna hope that it has fruit this year. This is the Cherimoya Dr. White. Started getting flowers about a month ago. I've already pollinated probably a dozen flowers already. Largest fruit on this was 2 3/4 pound about 2 years ago. Here's a fruit that's starting to grow. And that's the Cherimoya Dr. White. Asian pear. Fruit not tasting too good. This is a Cherimoya from Lauro, grown from seed. It's actually about a 7-year-old tree. We had it in a 15-gallon pot for a while. I finally planted it in the ground last year. Actually got a 1 1/4 pound fruit from it when it was in the 15-gallon pot. This is the apricot, and for whatever reason it was beautiful at the beginning, and then it just started, I guess, dying. So we're gonna hope that it still lives again next year. This is the nectar plum. Not too many fruit on it. And this is the air layer 2017. Something happened with the dirt. I think the drainage was bad and a lot of the leaves ended up dying, so I backed off on the watering. At least it's still alive. That's the Fuji apple. The large one in the back is the donut peach, and it did really great this year. They're all hiding inside the fruit. We saw at least 3-4 dozen. So, all right, this is the air layer lychee 2018, and I thought it was going to have flowers this year, but it didn't push it out. And then this one is the Cherimoya from the Sari store, also in a 45-gallon pot. I have about a dozen so far flowers, hand pollinated. I can't get up too close, but there are actually some already growing. So that's about a 3-year-old tree. Here's Grandpa's tree, grown 20 years ago, Cherimoya. It just started flowering last week, so I think I got two done. Here's some of the flowers that are just kind of coming out, if you can see it. And largest fruit we got from this tree was 2 1/2 pounds about 2 years ago also. Here's some of the donut peach. Okay, so here's the persimmon. We got a dozen fruit from it last year. We'll have a few more. Pineapple guava. And then this is the lychee Brewster. And we planted this 2012. Finally got some flowers. And we could actually see a few fruit growing off of it. Not that much. If we can just get 2, we'll be happy. Just to see how it tastes. And here's another Cherimoya from Lauro grown from seed. He's the only guy that I know that's gotten lucky to get sweet fruit. I got two flowers so far. It's actually this one's probably a 6-year-old tree. I keep cutting it because it keeps growing sideways. And here's another one, Cherimoya from Lauro, grown from seed. This is the Cherimoya lucida. And this year it got lots of flowers. I've already pollinated at least 2 dozen. And I did see one that looks like it's continuing to grow through. Let's see if I can get it in the camera. Right there. Well, okay. So that's the Cherimoya lucida. This is a Cherimoya I got from Craigslist. Tasted horrible, so I cut off all the branches and tried to graft the Dr. White. None of the Dr. White grafts continued, so I ended up cutting those off. I'll try again at the end of this year. This is the Cherimoya Spain. This year, every branch had at least 10 flowers. I've already hand pollinated a dozen flowers. And they actually, you can see it growing. We'll be glad if we get a dozen, hopefully more. So that's the Cherimoya Spain, bought from a nursery 2012 and planted that time, just like the Dr. White. Now this one was another Cherimoya that I bought on Craigslist that tasted horrible. I cut all the branches off except for 6. There was 3 branches on each end of this 2 parts of the original tree. I took 6 branches, from the Spain and planted and grafted it here, and 3 actually continued. So and I hand pollinated already 3 of the flowers. I wasn't planning on doing it, but it looked like it was going to be strong enough to support it. So I got fruit already growing after 1 year of grafting. We'll see if it continues. This one is another Cherimoya grown by Lauro from seed. We actually got 4 fruit from it last year, pretty decent size, about 1.25 pounds to a pound. Well, I think one was 1.5 pounds. Looks a little yellow, so I'm gonna throw in some nitrogen, I think. Make it look a little greener. White sapote. Still no fruit after 5 years. Another air layer lychee from 2018. And then another Cherimoya from Lauro. This is probably the youngest one, but it hasn't produced any flowers yet. And then the last Cherimoya. This one was grown from seed from an ant. I've already pollinated a half dozen. I think this is the one that's showing the most promise. Okay, so that's what's going on with the backyard fruit trees. June 2019.